The Hawaiian Islands are a chain of 137 islands in the North Pacific Ocean that include a group of 8 major volcanic islands extending 1,500 miles. The islands sit on the Pacific Plate and are the exposed peaks of a great undersea mountain range known as the Hawaiian Emperor Seamount Range. It formed over millions of years by volcanic activity over a hotspot in the Earth's mantle. For many Hawaiians, the islands are known as paradise. For that reason, nearly 10 million people will visit Hawaii this year. Aloha. This is Brent Carlson. Welcome to Brethren Voices. People aren't the only visitors in Hawaii. We're bringing you the story of the humpback whales that migrate over 6,000 miles to give birth to their young each year in the warm Pacific waters. With the help of Ultimate Whale Watch and Snorkel of Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii, we'll share some of the story of these magnificent giants. Ultimate Whale Watch provides an experience on small group rafting vessels that are safe and quick and provide the viewer with a front row seat to experience Maui's whales and other marine life. The captain and naturalist of our tour is Emma Nelson, and she shares about her journey of becoming a captain for Ultimate Whale Watch.
My name is Emma, and I am originally from North Carolina. I came here via Alaska, so I got my first job in this industry up in Juneau, Alaska, and then I didn't want to spend a winter there, so I started coming down here, and that was about 7.5 years ago. And then I did back and forth for about 3 years, but I've been here full-time for just about 4 years. I had my degree, or have my degree, in environmental studies, so I didn't really know what to do with that degree straight out of the gate. I worked in some sustainability jobs, but they weren't as fulfilling as I would have liked. And so I met a friend who was doing this back and forth, and she was going back to Alaska. We met at my yoga teacher training in Asheville. Well, to get your captain's license, to get your master's license, you have to have over 700 days on the water. And then you have to get certain tonnages, and depending on where you're working on the water, you get different license types, so near shore and inland. So I worked as a crew for about 5 years, got my time, found someone that would trust me to drive, and then you take your captain's course, and then there you are, you got it. So that was a different training from my naturalist training. I did a lot of my own research. I also went through a couple training programs up in Alaska and then one down here. I worked for Pack Whale for about 4 months before moving on to this company. But a lot of it has been working with researchers. So the companies out here work pretty closely with researchers. So we get to see in action what they're doing, and then doing a lot of my own research on the side as well.
Each whale watch is truly unique and different. There's a lot of water out there, so each adventure is different from another. Many years ago, Lahaina was a whaling town for hunting whales. Today, folks instead experience the whale's awesome beauty. We join Emma as she shares this experience with folks from many parts of the world, including the United States.
This is Pat and I's. Actually, we only do 4 trips a day because this one's a 4-hour one, but usually we do 5 trips a day. And we can guarantee that none of them will be the same. And that's kind of the beauty of it. So we can be out here for, 11 hours and only mostly lose our minds. See cool whales, I will stop for them. If you point out a whale breathing and I'm like, yes, good job, and I keep on going, please do not take it personally, okay? I'm trying to prioritize the best whales, the best conditions, just the best experience for you guys. That's my goal. Also, this is my 11th whale season. So I've done whale seasons here, I've done them up in Alaska. And I know Pat mentioned it before, but he was born and raised in Hawaii, so he is basically a whale. So trust our decisions as far as whales and wildlife goes, because we really are trying to give you all the best of the best while we're out here. Hold on to your hats. Once we round this corner, we're going to pick up speed. So hold on to your hats and everything that you want to keep, because I did have to confiscate hats last week. Because people kept putting...
It's waste.
We're going to Lanai. It does not look nice. It looks so nice.
Lovely, beautiful.
Oh, that is a little bump.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, let's go, you guys. Let's see, and feel free. Oh, there he goes. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Wow, everything just occurred. So I'm probably, I'll give him like 2 minutes, but I'm probably gonna keep on keeping on because when we see those tails, it's a bittersweet moment because we're looking at, you know, 30 to 50 foot animals and we see the tippy top of the tail, means the nose is 30 feet underwater. So I'll give them a second because there was a baby and it's really cute. But usually when they're going down like that, like a nice, slow, languid dive means that we're gonna have a longer breath hold from these animals. And just so you all know, we'll talk more about this later when we are fully in our whale watching. Also, if you're on the pontoon, if you want to throw a leg over and like mount it like a horse, you're more than welcome to, so you don't have to like twist your back. I know it can be a lot to do that over and over. There you go. Also, if you have trash, Thomas, I'll take your trash.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this right here. Anyways, we're looking at humpback whales. You have to remember this when I ask you later. There's gonna be like a pop quiz. Humpback whales. Y'all know what they're doing here?
Staying warm.
Staying warm, yeah, I guess. Technically. They're making babies and having babies. So this is the nursery and the nightclub all rolled into one. That's what we're looking at over here. So a lot of what we see from our intelligent, wise adult whales is energy conservation. Because you don't want to swim 3,000 miles, come down here for your one chance to mate, breach for 2 days straight, and then have to head back. So we see a lot of energy conservation. Sometimes our babies are a little less smart about what we call their blubber budget. So we always like to give them a chance, and they're always our highest chance of seeing splashy stuff because they do have food. Y'all know what they're eating? They're nursing. Yeah, so they're nursing. Mom is producing milk for them. We think about 20 to 30 gallons per day while she's fasting. And she's not going to eat until she gets back to most likely Alaska. So mama humpback whales are heroes. It is really remarkable what they do to make sure that that baby has a head start, because we think that's why they're here. Lack of predators. Do y'all know what their predator is? Orca, and us, I guess technically, yeah. Orca, but us. The gestation is about, it's like, I don't know. It's about 10 to 12 months. Oh my gosh, you guys. This whale is doing pirouettes. I mean, that was like, I didn't even know, and then all of a sudden I saw the lens. I was like, wow. I think that's the mom. Okay, first time whale watchers. This whale is doing a very weird thing called spy hopping, but also doing circles while she's doing it. So she's like this, like the whale version. So we're seeing the tippy tip of the snoot. The chin is towards us right now. Wow. So that's belly towards us. She's spinning. If you are taking videos with your phone, and it's an iPhone, I would recommend putting it, just don't do anything crazy with these. I would recommend putting it into 4K, which you can do up in the corner, and then I'd recommend upping your frames per second, is it second or minute? Frames per second to 60, because it can be 24, 30, or 60. It just makes, then you can zoom in 3 times and it's still nice. Because we got enough light. So usually, just to explain what we're seeing, I don't really know why she's doing this, but this is something that we associate with curious whales. But for a mom to be down here, remember how I said moms are nursing their calves 20 to 30 gallons per day. For the mom to be nursing her calf, she can lose 30% of her body weight, and then she decided to do pirouettes during this time. It's weird. It's really weird. Yeah, you're weird. But it also could mean that she's just got blubber to burn. She's got an escort coming up right behind her, beside her. I don't know what behind her is right now. She's straight up and down the water. But he's off our 9 o'clock. So mom's pretty obvious, but we all see that gray shadow, grayish green. He's coming up.
When you get up close, it's quite easy to see the humpbacks are really, really large. A female humpback can be about 50 feet in length, and sometimes the male can be as much as 10 feet smaller. Just their tail can measure a whopping 18 feet in length. Their weight can tip the scales at as much as 40 tons. And to give you some perspective, the average car weighs about 2 tons.
Okay, did you see that?
Yeah.
That was his flipper.
Yeah.
So that was his whale arm. I think it's escort. His mom wouldn't do this at all. No offense. But that's also a huge whale. Look at him.
He's got a really pointy dorsal.
Yes, he does. Look at the baby. The baby's doing weird stuff too. Okay, so escort, just to clarify, is not dad. He's just some guy that assigned himself to, I guess, maybe play uncle with the kid today. And he could be teaching this calf, because calf only has a year with mom and then 4 to 6 weeks here before they have to head back to Alaska. So maybe he's like, you know, you may not be here to mate, but remember that I spent my energy teaching your kid how to do things, like how to be buoyant in strange ways. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to make this make sense. It doesn't.
There's somebody off to the right.
Yeah, I think that's mom. There's
There
mom.
she is.
Okay. That's got to be mom. So this is more normal behavior.
It's believed that there are about 40,000 humpback whales currently living in the world. These mammoth whales were once hunted to almost extinction. It's projected that whales living now are less than 35% of the original world's population of humpback whale.
Okay, so as they start to come this way, my GoPro people, this is the time to start prepping. Because as she comes our way, guess who's with her? Weirdo. Because he's following her. She's in charge. She's coming straight at our 9 o'clock. Here he comes. There he is. Like, wait for me. Have you seen this spin move? Oh!
Buddy.
Oh my gosh, she's coming over.
Sorry, Shannon. Pick your whales.
You're like, we did that thing.
I did that thing. Oh my gosh, he's so strange. So now he's on his side. We just saw the tip of his tail. So he's kind of like laying on his side. Okay, now he's back normal-ish. You can see his shadow. He's coming up again. Coming up with his face. There he is. Ready, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yeah! Woo! Yes, you're really. There was his eye. There was his eye. It just came out of the water. And then mom is still straight here. So he's here, obviously. Mom is under the water right here. That was amazing. Okay. Well, let's continue. Yes, thank you. Let's continue to try to make our way across the channel. We're going to have to hold on to that in 3 hours when you forget that we saw whales, because it's going to seem like a lifetime has passed. We're going to keep trying. If this wind keeps picking up, we might not go to Lanai. Okay. Everyone's happy. I'm putting my jacket on because it's cold.
Whales are globetrotters and can be found in the Arctic, the Atlantic, and the Pacific Oceans, and can even be seen in the Arabian Sea. The whales of Maui generally travel back and forth from Alaska waters to give birth and mate in Hawaii, creating for the next year.
Consolation prize.
What's interesting about this is it's only about as deep as the whale is long. It's about 50 feet deep right here.
Yeah.
And they're getting enough speed to get all the way out of the water. It only takes them a couple kicks of their tail, so her nose is probably 4 inches from the bottom.
I know. It's also so cute to see. You see the adult, you see the baby breach, and you're like, oh, and then you see the adult breach, you're like, wow! It's such a big difference with their size. But as you can see, baby's doing more repetitive jumping stuff because baby is burning technically not its own calories, but mom's calories. Then I'd like to know how many sips. Oh, that was such a good one for the baby!
They did a back arch.
I mean, the extension, just 10 out of 10,
Style
baby.
points.
We see you. Man, that is a big baby too. All of our calves. The calves are huge right now. It's unbelievable.
Good batch of milk this year.
Yeah, and usually when we have a big calf like this, like I was saying, the babies are the most likely to do repetitive behaviors like breaching, jumping, splashing stuff, however, they have these 3 general stages while they're here. Like the first one is they just are like swimming and learning to swim. The second one is this splashy behavior, and then the third one, right before they leave, when they're really big, they tend to just carb load and nap. And this is not carb loading or napping. This is jumpy, getting strong, so it can make the migration ordeal. Oh yeah, we see you.
Come check out the boat ordeal.
I mean, unless it's breaching, and then it can do that right where it is.
Which is cool.
Yes. It's also got white pectoral flippers. You saw those little white flippers on it. That's pretty uncommon for our North Pacific stock of humpbacks that we have here. A lot of them have dark on top and white on bottom. It's called counter shading. Oh, right here, right next to us. Right here, right there.
GoPro, guys.
Right here.
Coming up off the bow, bow. Look. Yes. Okay. We're in whale jail, so I can't move.
Oh, wow. That was dope.
Woo! We love whales. We love whales. And we love whales. I'm turning slowly. Oh my gosh, you are sassy. I mean, that's like a kid with attitude. We see you. So that mom just did a total flyby with us. Look at her. You are, I mean, whatever floats your boat, mama. Baby's coming up right there.
Oh,
Here, ready, Michael? Glow. Whee! Oh, full extension. The little like, whee! Finley, do you think you could do that? I bet you could. I don't know, don't limit yourself. We'll have to test it. Right. Also with our baby whales, I know Pat mentioned like the mom is basically pushing off the bottom if she breaches here. The baby whales, obviously they're a little shorter and they do get a running head start when they breach. A lot of the time they'll start a little bit deeper and then kick, and get their whole body out of the water. But this one, I would say this calf is 5 weeks. I mean, it's like, this calf is really pushing the end of the time here, which only 6 weeks is like the longest we've seen him stay here. And that limiting factor is mom, because she can't just stay here, starve, and metabolize her blubber for herself and for calf.
They migrate according to their 2 annual seasons. Seasons are differentiated according to their feeding and mating rituals. Feeding is usually in the summer months, and mating is usually in the winter months. Upon leaving Alaska, these humpback whales do not eat again until they return to their food source in Alaska.
Marine mammals, they are much more efficient about holding their breath, obviously, than we are. Terrestrial mammals tend to be pretty bad at holding their breath. But these guys, when they store oxygen, they do, they do most of it in their blood and muscles. So some marine mammals, their lungs will actually collapse when they dive deep, and they're relying on that oxygen stored up in their muscle and their blood. If you've ever seen, I mean, I would be surprised, but maybe some of you have seen like seal muscle, or, you know, our muscles are pink and red. Theirs are like purple sometimes and black because of the amount of myoglobin in there. It's cool stuff. Hi, Mama. Your baby thinks you got extra blubber to burn. We do have a couple pods that tend to hang off, like Lanai off of Honolua up north, some off of La Perouse, but they also are pretty mobile. But they just like to find the calmest waters because they're spinner dolphins are probably what you're referring to, and they tend to nap during the day. They're nocturnal feeders, so they're day sleepers.
The humpback whale's diet includes a large amount of krill, which are a tiny marine animal comparable to shrimp. It takes a lot of krill to make up the amount each whale needs on a daily basis, almost 3,000 pounds.
We left at 7:45. I haven't been there since then. So it wasn't too bad when we left, but it's quite
Yeah.
Is this screeching by the baby, is that typical?
I wouldn't say typical, it's just more common to see from a calf because they've got their calorie source there. You know what I mean? Whereas we saw the mom do like 4 belly breaches as we were coming over. That's what brought us over. And it could have been like a teaching moment, and then the calf kind of kept going. So the way that I think about it is kind of like your dog getting zoomies. You know, you kind of hype them up a little bit when they're playing, and then they just keep on going, and they're like chasing their tail and doing the tuck butt run. So with the calves, sometimes this could be like mom being like, all right, get stronger, here, this is how we do it, and baby keeps on going. Or it just could be that they've got more energy, because kids tend to have more energy than we do. So it's, I wouldn't say it's common or expected, but it's more common to see from our calves for sure.
Humpback whales are smart, and they're also quite vocal. Each population communicates through its own dialect and sings its own song. But whales aren't born knowing how to sing. The baby whale learns from other whales around them. And oddly enough, only the male whales sing.
Every time this whale breaches, it's the caloric equivalent of you or I running a marathon. So that whale has run like 5 consecutive marathons in like 10 minutes, at least, that we've seen.
India? Okay.
Oh, rain blow. Ooh, going on another one of those shallow dives.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
People can come out on certain excursions, and they have expectations and desires, and I like for people to walk away just being satisfied with experiencing the natural world, however that looks. And I think that a lot of the time we are sold experiences that I don't want to say like manufactured, but kind of manufactured, that are the same, very similar each and every time. But the beautiful thing about wildlife and about the ocean, it doesn't let you do that. So there's just a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of just variability, I would say, in the experiences that we have out here. And my hope is that when people get off the boat, they enjoy themselves, maybe experience something new, learn something new, and have a newfound curiosity about something that seems weird, like, you know, humpback whale barnacles, or we'll talk about, like we did today, about turtles' mouths, you know, just something that I find interesting, so that people can hopefully have their own curiosity sparked You're like, what's another weird thing that inspires me?
Although we're not the only ones on this planet called Earth, sometimes we act like it. And maybe the planet would get along just fine if we humans weren't here. But we are here, and so are so many other creatures. We depend on the rest of life for us to live. So let's celebrate and take care of this wonderful creation, one person at a time and one whale at a time. Mahalo for joining us on Brethren Voices. This is Brent Carlson wishing you aloha. Please pass on the spirit of aloha.
May it be sheltered on its long, long voyage. May it follow the paths of our kupuna.